Welcome everyone to Coachinginsession. My name is Michael Reardon, and I'll be your life coach this evening. So today we're going to be talking about the blog I posted today, and that's going to be about the power of moments. And the thing about moments is it's going to be different every day. Some days you might have great moments and you never want the day to end, and some days you're wishing it would just hurry up. We have years like that too. How often do you hear someone say, I'm done with this year. I can't wait until the next year. I'm done with this month, like it's too hot. It's too cold. I can't wait until the spring, the summer, the fall. And we look at our favorite times as enjoyable. But when we get to those times that are enjoyable, that we think are enjoyable, how often do we pay attention to those moments? And after the fact, you might think about it and say, whoa, time is flying by. It's already October. And for all my people who love Halloween, you're going to be in the realm of, I'm so excited it's Halloween. And then as soon as Halloween is over, when will Halloween be back? A whole year. I'll have to wait 364 days until Halloween comes back. And it becomes a habit to wait. It becomes a habit to put off and prolong. And that habit can be detrimental to your success and to your life and to your whole being. In the month of October, we're going to be talking a lot about fitness, but we're also going to be talking about the mind, of course. When it comes to fitness, whether it be fitness of the mind or fitness of the body, if we put off and we prolong, just imagine how far we are putting ourselves back. There's a saying that one day of inactive work can set you back years. And if you start to think about your years in the sense of, all right, I have 20 years left, 30 years left. It's not being pessimistic. It's being realistic. Because if you understand how many years you have to make something happen, then you're going to be more prone to getting it done. Similar to how procrastination is, if you have room to procrastinate, you will. If you have room to cheat, you will. But if you don't have that luxury, then you start to focus more on making sure it's getting done sooner than later. So people who constantly say they're going to get in shape, people who constantly say they're going to do this or that, and they never get around to it, are doing a soft method of procrastination. That, and they lack motivation and good habits. But the power of the moment allows you to focus on what's happening in your life right now, to take record of how you are, how you're feeling, how much energy you have, what you are looking forward to, everything, right? And simply just knowing that fact or those facts allows you to make better plans, to make better choices. So let's get into the blog and start to look at that, because it's going to give you some examples and hopefully wake you up to start to see that right now is a time to push yourself and to get out there. So if you head over to my website, revenconcepts.com, of course, enter the website. For anyone who's new, head over to resources. And if you are new to Coachinginsession, you can always join the live links on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch. And we're live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Also, if you are tuning in, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, share the video, do all those naughty things that videos love, and then head over to the blog page. And we're going to do that today. And October 4th, of course, that's today. The power of moments. And I'm not going to read it for you, but the synopsis of it is going to be talking about how the world is so busy, and that busyness detracts us from our goals and our ambitions. And there's always something shiny, right? Think of like a squirrel, and he sees something and he's like, oh my God, what's that? What's that? Right? Similar, we are in the same type of thinking or the same type of process where every year there's a new iPhone. Every year there's a new gadget that we must have. Maybe a new model series of car. And we start to become infatuated with that time. Maybe a video game's coming out. Maybe it's a certain time of the year where you go out with family to vacation or just to spend time with them around the holidays. It becomes a time to pay attention to. And we start to think about that subconsciously in our regular days, in our ordinary times. And when we start to think about those good times, those good moments, it feels good. But when we do that, we fail to understand what the present is, what's happening right now in our life. So the goal is not so much to ignore all of those good times we had in our life, but to focus on what we have that's good in our life and then try to implement things to make it better. And in the topic, we talked about how can you make time work for you? Because we all have 24 hours in a day, but why does someone like Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, they have the same 24 hours we do. They go to sleep. They take time out to eat. I'm sure they go on vacations. What makes them different? How do they have an abundance of money, wealth, and yet maybe some of you are struggling? Maybe some of you wish you had that type of wealth. Well, there's going to be a difference between the mindsets of the 1%, the top 1%, and then the bottom 98%, the bottom 99%. So around there, we start to see a mindset of complacency, lack of consistency, and scatteredness. And that scatteredness is what happens most frequently in Western civilization. People are doing this and they're doing that, and they're so inundated with all of these things where they can't focus on just one thing. When's the last time you went to a sports game and you just enjoyed the sports game? Where you said, I'm not going to look at my phone because I don't care what is going on in the world. I care what's happening in the game. Maybe that's more for men. But let's say you're going out with friends. And you go out with friends. And you go out to eat. And you're going just to, have girls' night out. And you're enjoying yourself, right? But your phone rings. And maybe it's your boyfriend, husband, whatever. And he's, sending you texts. Or maybe you're upset with him. And now you're thinking about why you're upset with him. And you're going to ruminate on that instead of appreciating the time you have with your friends. And it might be a therapy session. It might be where you're going out with friends just to let loose, to let go of all the emotions, all the pent up anger you may have. But how does that benefit you? Yes, you might be able to talk to your friends about the situation, but in most cases, you reinforce what you're thinking about. Because if you know anything about emotions, emotions are meant to last 90 seconds. And if they last longer than 90 seconds, it is because you're ruminating on the fact. Enjoy the time you have with the people who are around you. And if you don't enjoy the people who are around you, find people who you will enjoy. So let's get into the fitness aspect of what the power of a moment is. So here we have a paragraph. I'm going to actually read this one paragraph for us. And it's going to be talking about just making the right choices, right? So our minds need to be corralled in the right directions most of the time. For example, if you're thinking about what you want for dinner, give yourself multiple healthy choices, whether it be vegetables, salad, water, etc. That is why making sure there's no junk food in the house while on a diet is important. You will have to go through more hoops to eat unhealthy if you choose to do so. Our minds love instant gratification. If we are craving a particular type of food, our minds will keep thinking about it until we give in or we forget about it. Yes, our minds love to wander, and if you can be strong enough to let your mind wander away from bad habits, the better. However, the best way to deal with our mind losing focus is to make sure it always has something to focus on. And that is going to be where we're going to be talking about. So if our mind has something to focus on, that's important because we need something to focus on in order for us to be able to make anything happen. And there's a good amount of people who allow their minds to become stagnant. People who go to work, let's say they go to a 9 to 5, and rightfully so, they're tired, right? Like if you're working 8 to 12 hours a day, of course you're going to be tired after your shift, right? Maybe you are mentally tired, maybe you're physically tired, maybe a little bit of both. And you're going to notice after that time how likely you are to do something. And if you have a good habit of waking up and getting ready to go to work, and you go to work, and then after work, you already have your gym bag in the car and you go to the gym, that's great, right? I know there's some people who I think they're crazy, but they will go to work and then they will come home, get dressed to go to the gym, and then they leave the house again after they just got home, and then they go to the gym. And for me, I find that to be more challenging. And the reason I say that is because when you're home, you're home. Imagine if it was raining or snowing. Maybe you're not feeling too well, right? And you're home and you're comfortable. Guess what? You're going to be less likely to leave your comfort zone. And you might have a habit of going home and going to the gym, but it's going to be so much more easy for someone to say, you know what? I'm not feeling 100%. I'm going to take a rain check on the gym today. And it's not the case for everyone, of course, but for a good amount of people, they're going to be struggling in that regard. So the best way to use that moment from when you get off work to when you want to go to the gym, but you need gym clothes, is to make sure you have clothes with you so you can go to the gym and then have that moment. And typically after the gym, you feel accomplished. You feel good that you went, and you're not going to simply say, oh, I shouldn't have came to the gym today. That very rarely happens. You're going to say, I'm glad I got that done. And at the gym, you may or may not be paying attention. You may be suffering in the gym if you're on the treadmill and you're just counting down the minutes until your 15 minutes or 30-minute jog is up. And or you're doing a class, a cardio class, Zumba, cycling, yoga, whatever, right? And you're going to be focusing on that struggle, that pain. But what I want you to start to do is to focus more on where you are. So if you're at work, I want you to be in your work. I want you to be focused on your work, not worried about when Friday is, not worried about what you got to do at the gym today, not worried about your problems with your relationship, whatever, right? We want to focus more so on what we're doing. Because when we do that, we become more efficient. And being efficient creates more time in your life. So if I was more efficient in my, let's say I was a stockbroker, right? And I trade, or I was a day trader, and I would trade stocks, but the stock market opens at 7 o'clock, and I'm going to be in bed, right? So I wake up, maybe get some coffee if you drink coffee, and you're going to start looking at your stocks, right? Okay, well, this went up, this went down. Okay, well, I'm actually going to go on my phone and check what Twitter has to say. And it might be about business. It could be about business, but you're going to start scrolling and you might see a story and start to read it. And now you're not focused on trading. And that diversion could cost you money. So if your time and your inconsistency can cost you money, what else can it cost you? And that's going to be time. Because now you're less efficient. Because you may have a goal for the day saying you're going to make $1,000. And you might spend all day trying to make that $1,000 trading. And yeah, eventually you do get there, so you did accomplish your goal. But what happened if you did it in a quarter of the time? So instead of being there for 5 hours, you were only there for an hour and a half, something like that. It becomes dire that you start to implement these type of actions sooner than later. Because the wealthy of the world, they say they're going to do something and they do it. And I understand they have their lives and they're busy, but we're all busy in a sense. But when you're busy, that's the best time to pay attention. Because before you know it, you're going to say this: whoa, it's October already? Yesterday was January. Christmas is in 2 months. That's crazy. Time is just a revolving rat race, right? Our months. We start in January, we end in December, and we do the same type of months again. And of course, we might have a leap year, and it's a little bit different, but it doesn't change the dynamic of what time is to us. January is January to us. December is December to us. And there's something that happens in December and January that many people will agree to. And that's going to be your New Year's resolutions. So people are so intrigued by their New Year's, by their New Year's resolutions that they want to focus. So they say, okay, well, I want to get my New Year's resolutions underway on January 1st. Well, okay. Well, what's stopping you right now? And in the blog, The Power of Moments, we're talking about starting now. Because the momentum that you have right now, and I'm actually working with that with some people, is start now. Because if you're not going to start now, what's going to happen in January? Yeah, procrastination finally came to the point where you can no longer procrastinate, but it didn't help you create any better habits. You simply put off until it was time to act. January 1st was the time to act. And the motivation is there, maybe the inspiration is there, but the drive won't last. You don't have enough fuel in the tank to make you through the end of the year for a good portion of people. Because the majority of you who have these New Year's resolutions will not be able to accomplish them. And it's not saying that you can't. It's just the reality of how the mind operates. And the power of moments allows you to focus on the moment, to focus on the goal, to focus on the problem. Because if you're going to simply always say, I'll do it next week, I'll do it next month, next year, you're going to keep doing it until you run out of days. You're going to do it until you run out of time. So how can we get more time in our day? How can we be more productive? How can we be more resilient to being lazy, being more consistent in our habits? And the best way I have found is to create a schedule and to honor that schedule and saying, I'm going to do the schedule no matter what. And you make sure it gets done. If it's work time, it's work time. If it's playtime, it's playtime. Enjoy it too. But write it down. And if you don't have a schedule right now, work on creating one. If you try to create a schedule and it didn't work, then at that point, I'm going to recommend you looking for a life coach, you were looking for a mentor, someone to kind of hold you accountable. And accountability is going to be key, because if you are going to simply say, I'm going to do something and then it doesn't happen, who's there to hold you true to your word? There has to be someone, because the brain learns in the way of habits. So the moment you don't do something, it becomes a habit, and it only takes one time. So if you say you're going to go to the gym on Monday and you don't go to the gym on Monday, what's stopping you from saying, I don't have to go to the gym on Tuesday either? My bed is so comfortable. The gym is, too much work, and I'm going to be sweaty, and I got to take a shower, and it's a lot of work. But the thing about life is a lot of work in most of the regards of life. We work to pay bills. We work to buy the things we want to do, go on vacations, buy maybe a nice car or just a car to get us to A to B, maybe nice clothes. It requires work. And people have shied away from work. People have started to go in the realm of, if I can work home remotely, I will, right? And that was the whole COVID lockdown quarantine thing, that people are actually looking for more remote jobs than they are for in-office jobs. And again, I don't blame them. They can literally get up, walk in, to their office, they have one, or literally open their laptop while they're on their bed and start work. I think that's a pretty plush lifestyle. But at the same time, are you able to separate your home and work, your laptop and work, your days and work? And that's where people start to have a discrepancy in what they really want. Because they say they want something and they go after it for a little bit, and then all of a sudden, they don't want to go after it anymore. Similar to how diets are. People say they're going to go on a diet, they're going to get in shape, they get a trainer, they buy all this gym gear, jump ropes, waist trainers, they buy a squat rack for the gym, punching bag, and before you know it, it's sitting there. And before you know it, nothing's coming out of their investment. But they keep it, maybe for hoarding reasons, or maybe for the hope of they might pick it up again. We do it so often, it becomes a habit. We start and we quit. And the power of the moment, and that's why I recommend this blog for people to read, is it's going to help you get to where you need to be by simply focusing on what's happening right now in your life. What I do with new clients is I say, Tell me what's going on right now. Because once I understand what's going on right now, I kind of get a good representation of where you are mentally, maybe even physically. And then I ask, well, where do you want to be? And then I put it into realistic numbers for you. Because if you are 50 pounds overweight, a realistic number is not going to be you lose 50 pounds in 1 month. That's going to take a year. That's going to take 10 months to a year. So are you willing to commit 10 months of hard work, consistency, paying attention to what you're doing with each moment, with each second? That's what it's going to take. And people, when they get to the point of understanding and realizing what is it going to take to be the person that they want to be, it becomes a challenge. And I've noticed some people, or the majority of people, right, are bottom percentile people, don't want to rise to the challenge. Just look at the people who are on government assistance. How many of them want to get off government assistance? The answer is not a lot. And it's because they were enabled to be the way they are. The government takes care of them. And though that may be wrong, and though I know some people say they have a full grocery cart on the first of the month and they're able to have all this food, and while we work our 9 to 5 and we might be barely able to get half of what they got. And you might say, it's not fair. Well, you know what's also is not fair? You complaining about someone else. Because if you're complaining about other people, you are in the bottom percentile. You should not have the luxury of time to blame or worry about other people. Because if you do, you have wasted your time. Blaming other people for things or being against a certain group or person, that's a waste of time. What I do is I allow people to gather content, gather information, and to make a choice. And their choice is, do they want to become better, or do they want to stay where they are? And if they want to stay where they are, that's cool. I'm not here to change people who don't want to be changed. I'm here to help people who are finally fed up with the life they have and they want more. I'm here to help people who say, all right, I'm doing something wrong. I need something right to go my way. What am I doing wrong? Because when we become so complacent, when we become stuck in our comfort zone, when we become so blinded to our rat race, it takes someone from the outside to look in and saying, hey, this is not good. This is wrong. And it's not so much your life is going to surmount to wrongness or nothingness, but what can your life surmount to? What can your life be? And the power of the moment is to look at how good can this moment be for you. Because if you're looking at how you're going to pay your rent today, and you start working with a coach or a mentor, a teacher, and you ask, what are some ways I can make my rent money? And they're going to tell you. It might not be something you like, but they're going to give you that rent money. You're going to earn that rent money. And when you earn that rent money, understand what it took to get that rent money. And then understand the second part. Do you want to have to struggle every single month to pay your rent? Do you want to struggle every month to pay your mortgage? Do you want to struggle every month to pay your car note, your grocery bill, your phone bill? And that's the system we have right now. People are struggling to get by. And it's because they're not paying attention. They're not paying attention to what's happening now in their life. They're not paying attention to what's going to happen in their life. They're simply going through the moments and not paying attention. And when you don't pay attention to the moments, life takes over, and life will take you everywhere but where you want to be. You need to take back control of the wheel and drive to your most desired life. Because life is not going to simply say, oh, we got to your destination. Similar to how you get in your car every single day. If you get in your car, do you close your eyes and wish you were at your location? Okay, well, do it. Did you get there? No. It requires you to actually drive to your location. And in life, your most desired life, your goals, your success, it requires you to reach, to walk, to drive, to fly, however you want to get there. But it requires you to move, to take the action to get there. So the Power Moment is something I do recommend you read. We do have plenty of things happening this month. So we do have a workshop on Wednesday, and that's going to be talking about fitness and about a new program I'm going to be implementing. Must watch. This Wednesday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. It is a must watch if you are looking to get in shape. I'm having a special going on for the program. And this is unheard of. I didn't even think I would ever do something like this, offering it to clients. It's an affordable way for you to get the body you want. And you start now because by next year, you will already be in shape. And it's crazy because if you start now and you start the program now, you're going to be, I can't even give you a percent because I don't have that data, but you're going to be much more likely to be in shape by March of next year than if you did when you waited until the New Year's Day. So if you're struggling with your weight, if you're struggling with any type of health and wellness, you want to tune in on Wednesday. Now, we also have a wellness coach interview on Friday where she's talking about just wellness as a whole, mindset, just wellness in general, and also another resource for you to gather information and or to work with. Plenty of good things happening this week. You don't want to miss anything. So Wednesday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, be there for the workshop. Friday, be there for the interview. And for now, simply like, comment, subscribe in the video. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, email me at coachinginsession@gmail.com. If you're looking for a coaching, for a life coach, for any type of personal development, health and wellness type consultant, head over to revenconcepts.com and book a free consultation. And then from there, we can figure out which program is going to work best for you. I will see everyone again 7 p.m. this Wednesday for the workshop that you do not want to miss. Please share the video. And until then, everyone, take care.